So today I want to talk about this idea of boosting your metabolism, trying to speed it up. A lot of people have a slow metabolism, and in their mind, they think they need to speed it up. And so they're always looking for a pill to do it, or green tea extract or chili pepper so they can speed up this metabolic rate, okay? And then they find it just doesn't work. So when you consume caffeine or coffee to try to speed it up, you're not stimulating your metabolism, you're stimulating your sympathetic nervous system, which is the flight or fight mechanism. That is not the way to lose weight. You're actually going to gain weight by increasing that mechanism because you raise cortisol. And you'll notice that you'll have it right in the midsection right here. Green tea does elevate the metabolism, like in very small amounts. It's very insignificant. You're not going to see a lot of weight come off just by drinking green tea or consuming chili peppers. Sometimes people have this idea that, oh, chili peppers, it's going to create some heat in my body, and so I'm going to burn the fat off. The fat is not melted off with heat. That's not the way it works. There's a machine in your mitochondria that uses the fuel for energy, but it doesn't do it through just temperature, okay? Or else we could just sit in a sauna and melt the fat off. That's not going to work. Or sometimes people will say, well, if I'll eat more frequently to stimulate my metabolism. Well, you're operating off the idea that, oh, if I'm hungry, I have more of an appetite, that my metabolism is high. No. That means that your blood sugars are low, okay, and you need to eat. It doesn't mean that your metabolism is faster. And it is true that if you eat, it will create a spike with insulin and drop low blood sugar, and then you'll want to eat more. You're just going to raise insulin and get fatter. So we have the speed of the metabolism, okay? Then we have the concept of what is being burned, okay? Who cares if your metabolism is fast if you're only burning up your sugar reserve and not tapping into the fat reserve? There's many things that slow your metabolism. The two big ones are, actually, there's three. Age, getting older, okay, you get through menopause, so your metabolism slows down. You don't have as much growth hormone, things like that. But also, it's the amount of diets that you have done in the past. Let's say when you're younger, especially as a kid. So if you were overweight as a child and you had to do multiple diets again and again involving low calorie, chances are you're going to have a very slow metabolism as an adult. Or even if you gain weight in your late teens or even early 20s or after the pregnancy. So you go on a diet, you lose weight initially, weight comes back, and then you do a diet again, and then it's harder the next time. And the third time is even harder. The fourth time, it's impossible. So what happens is the frequency of diets really mess up your metabolism because your body just adjusts to the lower amount of calories. So your body just compensates. The big one, though, is the having insulin resistance. So the chronic consumption of carbs over a long period of time develops so much insulin resistance. And what that means is your cells are resisting insulin, so it's going to make more to compensate. So it's the quantity of insulin in your body that will prevent your metabolism from working. So you're going to have like a certain set point. So maybe you can lose, but you can't ever get below a certain weight, like 160 or something. You just can't get below that. Well, that's because you have insulin resistance. And that is why the keto plan and intermittent fasting works so well, because it targets this right here. Okay? You can't necessarily undo age. Okay? You can't really get rid of the past, but you can fix this. Okay? And that is going to actually speed up your metabolism by fixing a hormone that is dominating, a hormone that is suppressing the ability to burn fat. When insulin is low, you can burn fat. When insulin is high, you burn sugar fuel. Okay? And also, this is a very important point too. What fuel is being burned? Do you want to burn sugar or do you want to burn fat? To burn fat, you need to go into ketosis. Ketones come from fat burning. Okay, so why not just focus on doing ketosis exclusively and not do any other program? Because you're going to actually focus on the thing that you want, is to lose actual fat versus just weight loss. Okay. Now, if your thyroid's involved, of course, your metabolism is going to be slower as well. But usually, thyroid is secondary to high levels of estrogen or something going on with the gallbladder or the liver. Okay. Stress, we talked about that. If you increase stress, you increase cortisol. That's going to slow things down. Many people have gained weight after a stress event. So there are things that you can do to extract stress. I'm going to put some links down below. If you had a major stress event, I suggest that you watch that video. It's called the Stress Webinar, and you can undo some of that old stress because it is accumulative in the body. Growth hormone is increased through high quality sleep, intense exercise, and keeping your sugar low, okay? With protein, there's a certain amount of portion of protein, a lot smaller than you think actually. It's between 16 and 32% of certain proteins, and I'll do a separate video on this, are actually used for repair of the body, not necessarily used for calories, okay? So when you're considering calories in your diet, some of that portion of protein should not be used because you're going to be using that as repair and not as fuel. So I'm going to do a separate video on that. The point about protein is that you want a moderate amount of protein. You want a high quality protein so you're getting the maximum absorption of those amino acids so it's not wasted. We want protein that usually comes in nature versus protein powders. Like whey protein is very lean protein, and that can stimulate the insulin and create issues. So you want protein that comes in nature, like sardines, eggs, fish, a high quality grass-fed meat, things like that, but a moderate amount. We don't want to go low on that, but we don't want to go high. We want to go right in the middle, right there. Okay, so then we have fat. The thing about fat is on a keto plan, we go up with the fat because we go down with the carbs. It's totally okay to consume fat as long as your carbs are lower. Important things about fat is to allow you to go longer without eating. It's called intermittent fasting. And fat also has a lot of nutrition for your hormones. There's going to be a point once you've adapted to fat burning where you can start to cut your fat back a little bit if you're plateaued, forcing your body to use up its reserves and not the dietary fat that you're consuming. So we want to make some adjustments on that. I have a lot of videos on that. I'll put some links down below. So anyway, I wanted to clear up this idea that you can just stimulate your metabolism, boost it, without fixing the underlying issues that so many people have. Thanks for watching. Hey, before you go, would you mind putting a comment down below to tell me what you think about this video?